Good evening. I'm Chris Piero. I'm going to be your child's seventh grade science teacher this year. I have a small presentation to go through that is going to cover topics for this year, some skills that we're going to work on, and a recap of some Schoology that the kids are going to use during the course of the year. So in seventh grade this year, they're going to have a full biology course. Beside the full biology, we first start with experimental design, review metric measurement, both of which are covered last year as a review. And then we actually go into a full biology course in which they're going to learn about cells, how they function. We cover a full genetics course on Punnett squares and how traits get passed on from one generation to the other. We go through classification. We do unit on evolution. And then during the course of the year, we also do all the body systems. Therefore, the children get a sense of how their body actually works in conjunction from one system to the other. This is going to be a different year in that the kids don't have a lot of background for the content that they have. Last year was a little review of ecology and things they may have covered in elementary school. This year is a full course in which there really is no background for. The terms and language that are used will be simplified except for the vocabulary covering topics. That will be part of the course, and it's going to be a little more challenging than sixth grade. We are working on with the hands-on inquiry-based learning this year. Each lab or activity revolves around answering a scientific question through research. They're going to use what's called an activity list to go through a variety of information, presented them in different formats, whether they be worksheets or videos, in order to go through and answer a research question for each unit. The skills that we're providing with these activity lists and units are evidence for reasoning for conclusions. We're going to, again, work on graphing, whether by hand or online. We're going to use a variety of equipment to collect and analyze data, which, again, goes back to graphing. We talk about science literacy. We'll continue to work on time management independence. And as though we're getting better at it, it's something that continually gets worked on from year to year. And then thinking critically and applying concepts learned to the real world. Hopefully the topics of genetics and the human body will provide some more conversations at dinner. As the kids learn these topics, they're going to hopefully turn to you and have some conversations about what they learn, because it actually is a very applicable year to them. We will provide what's called an activity list. It's called the Lactic Classroom. It's a learner activity technology infused classroom. Students build their skills through a unit to accomplish a final task or to solve a real world problem. They are in charge of their own time management. So some students will actually have to develop that skill a little faster than others. We are also there to support in case they need some help with that time management. Our job is to kind of navigate them through, take an activity list for a week, and break it down per day of what can be accomplished both in school and out. Doing that, students are given choices of what type of activities they can choose, and they can take them and use the ones that best suit the way they learn. Some kids are more visual, in which a video will be better for them. Some prefer a worksheet. Either way, we give them different modalities to present information to them in as many different faceted ways as possible. On the screen now is a copy of an activity list that they will get each week based on different topics. There'll always be a required section in which there are certain activities they have to fulfill by the end of the week. Those are ones that, again, may be multifaceted, but they are the content in which we need to make sure they cover. There's always going to be a choice section on the bottom in which they may have to choose a couple out of, maybe 2 out of 3 or 1 out of 3, and those are also supplemental to the topics that we're covering. They usually bring this list into Notability and check off as they work along. They can also print it out and check it off if they have a spot at home they want to leave it at. And again, these are the kind of things that we will take care of within the classroom, of helping them to navigate the week, figure out which activities are better to do in school with teachers, which independent activity they can do at home, and help them with that time management skill. On the activity list, there's going to be lab reports, there's going to be projects to work on, there's going to be actual homework that they have to fill, and some of that may be on the activity list itself. Some supplemental homework may go home from time to time also to reinforce certain concepts in each unit. All the work, activity lists, and everything can be found in Schoology just like last year. The activity list itself, along with each assignment with the PDFs attached, any directions, videos embedded, everything they need to go will be found on Schoology. Along with the activity list, as I mentioned, there'll be worksheets, there'll be labs, everything that they need to complete their activity list will be listed each week in Schoology. We'll provide copies of presentations for what we call benchmark notes, in which we do direct instruction, along with the presentation, which you may want to look at home to get your refresher course on genetics or, say, the human body. And then along with that, we will give them copies of the notes when we're done, filled in, so they can always reference that as well to help prepare for a test as well as use for their activities. Due dates for assignments, exams, and quizzes are also on the upcoming tab, and therefore they'll know when everything needs to be completed. Most of you I know from last year, and you have my contact information already, but if not, please feel free to reach out to me at cpro@scarsdaleschools.org. I always try to get back as soon as I can to the parents. And again, we encourage the students, which a lot of them have done already this year, have them directly reach out to me, whether through Schoology or through their own Gmail account through school. They can email me directly as well. Along with the time management skill, we always try to preach self-advocacy. So if they have a question they want answered, we encourage them to reach out to us directly. Therefore, they can get the answers they need directly from us instead of having to go through parents. If you have any other questions that you need from me, obviously, please feel free to reach out as much as possible, and I'll try to get back to you within that same day, if not early the next day. I always include a couple of tutorials just to give a refresher course on Schoology, because although the kids go through it pretty quickly, sometimes for the parents it's good to see a refresher course on how it works. So if you need to help them with something, you can guide them along with some how-tos. I'll send this presentation home, which will have the live links that you can use, and I'm looking forward to a great year. Thank you.